Alright, everyone. Episode 4 here of The Government's Bad For You. What's ironic is this is the third video I've put up today, and it's just amazing how fast this information comes out. I mean, it's fast and it's hot, folks. It's coming. I'm sitting here trying to get to sleep here in my hotel and just reading through some stuff online, and the real sad part just shows you what a sorry state our mainstream news sources are. This article comes from Russia Today, which is again very ironic that we can get high quality information and better quote unquote news from Russia Today than we can from our own national TV networks. Okay, because I didn't see this anywhere else. And for full disclosure, I didn't look to see if this was on CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or any of the other websites, because I didn't look, because it's usually just nonsense. The title of the article says, Obama gives himself control of all communication systems in America. Now, I'll put, just like the other stuff, I'll put this article up. I'll load it, or I'll paste it underneath the video when I get the video loaded. But let me just go through this here real quick. Okay, it says, President Obama released his latest executive order on Friday, July 6th. Now, I'm just hearing about this today. It's 3 days later, technically 4 days later. A 2,205-word statement offered as the assignment of national security and emergency preparedness communications functions. And although the president chose not to commemorate the signing with much fanfare, gee, I wonder why. Probably because, well, basically what he did is give himself the power to take over the internet and all forms of communication that we use. I don't know why you'd want to make that known to people, because back when this internet stuff started being kicked around, people were pissed off. Okay, the internet is maybe the last place we have where we actually can get the proper information about how bad we're getting screwed over. So it says, the powers he provides himself and the federal government under the latest order are among the most far-reaching yet of any of his executive decisions. Now that's scary as hell right there, because you look back at some of the stuff that have been passed, some of the things Obama's done through executive orders. I mean, the list is long, with NDAA especially. If you take a look at the last paragraph too, it says it says the powers he provides to himself and to the federal government. Alright, I didn't know the president could provide himself with any power. Okay, where the hell did our, where did our rights go? Okay, what happened to consent of the governed? Because like it or not, we're all governed. Okay, as much as a lot of us try not to be, at some point, somewhere, you are governed. Okay, so how can the president basically just provide himself a power and provide the federal government a power that we didn't give him? We didn't give that to him. It says the federal government must have the ability to communicate at all times and under all circumstances to carry out its most critical and time-sensitive missions. The president begins the order, survivable, resilient, enduring, and effective communications, both domestic and international, are essential to enable the executive branch to communicate within itself and with the legislative and judicial branches, state, local, territorial, and tribal governments, private sector entities, and the public, allies, and other nations. So basically what he's saying is, because you got to read through the legalese, is they want to provide themselves with a way or a system to communicate with everyone at all times or at any time. So the next question you got to ask yourself is this: if they need to come up with a system where they can communicate with everyone at a certain time, Well, essentially what they're doing is through the back door, most likely, because they're not doing it in any legitimate manner whatsoever, is they've basically given themselves the power to control the internet, or basically take down and put up whatever information they want at whatever time they want. Okay, the article continues a little bit farther down. It says, on the government's official website for the National Communications Systems, the government explains that all the infrastructure includes wireline, wireless, satellite, cable, and broadcasting, provides the transport networks for that support the internet and other key information systems, suggesting that the president has indeed effectively just allowed himself to control the country's internet access. Well, isn't that a pretty damn nice picture to paint yourself? Here's the president and his minions somewhere behind, enemy lines there in D.C., or somewhere probably in Virginia, literally have the ability to shut down the internet whenever possible. Now, of course, if they shut it down, they can, just like detaining us, I'm sure they can shut it down indefinitely. Last part about this, it says, in explaining the order, the Electronic Privacy Information Center, EPIC, writes that the President has authorized the DHS, God love those people, thank you George W., the authority to seize private facilities when necessary, effectively shutting down or limiting civilian communications. So, if the government can come in and shut down our private communications at any time they want, for whatever purpose they want, what do we think is going to happen when the dollar finally does collapse? How long do you think they're going to shut the internet down? Because they understand at this point that that's one of the ways, or maybe the best way we use to communicate with each other and get our message out. So if they can shut the internet down, I'm sure they can shut networks down. So there goes Facebook, there goes Twitter, there goes some of the other things we need. So you got to ask yourselves, and I mentioned this, I know, in one of the other videos I just put up, at what point does it become enough? At what point do you say, we just can't do this anymore? At what point do we go, we can't allow this to continue? The government we've given ourselves is far beyond the scope of a government that recognizes and allows us our personal liberty to do as we choose. And really what they become, or they're trying to become, is masters over everything we do. When is it enough? When are we going to stand up? Or when are we just going to leave? When are we going to just get out of here? Say, you know what? You can govern over your minions all you want, but all the productive people are going to be gone, because it's already happening. All the productive people are trying to, I shouldn't say all, a lot of productive people are trying to leave. Because this used to be a country where you could set up a business and run that for yourself and make a nice living. But now what they do is they regulate everything. They tax everything that moves until it stops moving. And when the people finally start waking up, which a lot of people are at this point, they pass these laws, or executive orders in this case, to shut down the internet or control the internet whenever they see fit. So the point is coming where there's going to be a decision that has to be made. Are we in or are we out? Are we going to stop them or are we not? Because this is another point, another issue that you're not seeing it on the news anywhere. It's not out there. But here it is on Russia Today, showing us how the government is limiting our freedoms. Because the government is bad for you.